You guys, it's a Monday night. I just landed from my weekend away in Miami and I got home and Michelle Kinney literally as I'm landing on this plane with no Wi-Fi, I finally land and I look at my text and Michelle tells me that we have hit 10,000 effing subscribers on Mayday even before we launched, you guys. Michelle,
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you all for joining us tonight, last minute, and welcome to the Mayday Network. If any of you are here for the first time, I'm Michelle Kinney here with Julie Roginski. And once I got Julie on the phone, I hauled ass home from being out with my husband and his friend, and because I was like, we got to go live and we got to thank people because this has been crazy. And while maybe 10,000 doesn't seem like a lot to, Justin Bieber, it's a whole lot to us. And because this has happened so fast, and we are so incredibly grateful to everyone who continues to show up and support us and like now volunteer to moderate our chats and things. Like, I'm just so incredibly grateful. And I know Julie is too. And there really just doesn't feel like any words to describe what this feels like, because you kind of set out to do these things. You don't know if anyone's going to watch. You don't know if anyone's going to tune in or say anything. And they have. And this has been awesome. And I feel like, we're just kind of getting started here.
it's amazing. And you're about to hear my dog probably barking in a second. So I apologize for that in advance. You guys, for people who don't know Mayday, here's what the story is. We are here. We are here because the country is in distress. We are here because we need a community around us that is going to feel as strongly as we do about, there's my dog, about taking our country back. We are here every morning at 8 a.m. Eastern live to do our morning show. We are here every Saturday for Sanity Saturday Sanity at 10 a.m. Eastern. We are here with Olga Lautman at 11 a.m. every Thursday, except New Year's this Thursday, to talk foreign policy. There's a lot going on this week. I'm actually bummed that we're not doing that show. We are here launching a whole bunch of different shows with Jeff Jarvis at 11 o'clock Eastern every Friday to talk about the media and the week and what the mainstream media has or hasn't done right. And we're just here for our community. And the fact that we have built this incredible community, 10,000 strong, of people who just found us and decided that they were going to join us. And we now know so much about you guys just from the chat. And we know so much about what your interests are and how strongly you feel about everything that we feel. And we are just so immensely grateful to you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. What a wonderful way it is to close out 2025. We had to come on despite the fact that we're both exhausted from the weekend. Just to thank everybody. That's really why we're here. And that's it. So we're really grateful to you.
Yeah. And, Julie, I remember after the election in 2024, I looked at the landscape and realized, I remember that bubble that went super viral and it had like all the red bubbles and like the audiences of all these podcasters and radio personalities and whatnot and YouTubers on the right. And it was massive. It was like millions and millions and millions of people. And like, then there's these little dots, and the little dots are Midas. They're crooked. They're the bulwark. And the blue dots do not even remotely come into play in comparison to what's going on the right. And I was reading something about this the other day, and I believe it was Sarah Longwell who said this. That for the longest time, the right felt that they were being shut out of mainstream media.
Yep.
And so that's how they got their head start, because they said, well, screw this, we're going to start our own. And that, there came Rush Limbaugh and Fox News and then Newsmax and like everything else that you see now. So they are a lot ahead of us. And so I looked around and I said, I don't care if I'm the littlest fish in the biggest pond. I have to do something beyond running a PAC, beyond, what you do, Julie, with your consulting and helping Democratic candidates. I was like, I have to do something more. I have to contribute more. And I was like, there has to be a place where politics and culture and sports and entertainment, all these places converge. Because there's one time in particular, I think I've told this story, where I was looking for stuff about millennial gray, which is like this whole thing that's happening with my age group of painting your
Yes.
house
Yes.
gray.
Yes.
And I came across this, I forget what her name was, Alex something. She's some like right-wing person.
We didn't
And
know that.
and I didn't know that. And she was doing this whole video about free expression and having color in your home and mental health and blah blah blah. And then she started getting into like communist countries and how everything is gray and boring, like millennial gray. And I was like, wait a second. And then she went on to talk about Tucker Carlson. And I was like, what? And I was like, they got me. They got me. And so that really kind of even solidified my feeling about having to do this. And Julie, I know when you and I met, I think it was late last year, you and I, and we had a conversation. And there's been several iterations of like what this was going to be and who was going to be involved, and and things just kind of have panned out how they have due to schedules and commitments and things like that. But here we are, and we're doing the thing, and we want to bring more than just politics to everybody, because I think if there's anything that has become clear to me just in the last couple of days is how burnt out I am from all of this. Like, and I think you said you saw it on Substack too, right? It's like,
Well, it's really interesting because I saw it on Substack. Like, I usually know what my Substacks, my newsletters get in terms of viewership and readership. Not viewership because I do all the viewership here, but all the readership on Substack. And this has been a slow week, not because I've been writing every day. Actually, I've been writing more. I've been writing 7 days a week this week, but because I think people are just tired. Like they just wanted to take the week off of politics, and I get it. I get it. I have to say, the stuff that I wrote on Substack the last 3 days, I actually pre-wrote before I went on vacation because none of it was particularly news.
yeah, like more evergreen stuff.
Yeah. Not so much evergreen, but stuff that I wrote on. I spent basically all of Christmas working and writing it, so that Friday when I left, I had preloaded all this stuff, and then today on the plane back, I wrote my column for tomorrow. But I can tell you that everybody was just wiped this week. Like nobody wanted to deal. And nobody wanted to read, and I get it. And I keep saying to Michelle and I keep talking about this, we've got to do like the Americans. We keep talking about doing the Americans and doing that show, just so we could all have like a weekly watch party together and then talk about it. So the show that we wanted to do was the Americans, because we could also just talk about not just the TV show, but also about what was going on in the world while the Americans was being filmed. I said to Michelle was like, I'm too tired to read. I don't have time. I can't go to sleep. I don't know how people, let me know in the chat what you think about this. I can't sleep, period. I'm a horrible sleeper, but I really can't fall asleep unless I read a fiction book. Like I can't, because if I start doom scrolling the news, then I just don't sleep, period.
Forget it. Yeah.
So I was thinking, what if we had a Mayday book club for people who might potentially be interested? If anybody wants to jointly read a fiction book and then just talk about it and have like people come and do this. Like one of the books that I was thinking, because it's kind of interesting, and I know it's going to sound like it's not particularly topical because it's ancient history, but it is topical. I don't know if people have read, but The Other Boleyn Girl, which is a fairly old book. It's about 15 years old. Forget the movie. The movie sucked. The book itself was really good. And I feel like it's good because when they describe the court of Henry VIII, which sadly, I'm such a nerd, I'm completely obsessed with medieval British history, which maybe just my thing.
We should do a tour of the cloisters.
We should do a tour. Well, that's more Italian stuff. I don't know much about that, but whoever wants to do the tour,
vaguely in my brain, I'm like medieval things, cloisters.
No. But if you ever wanted to do the Tower of London, I'm your annoying tour guide. But the reason I say this is because if you look at Henry VIII and how he operated, it was so similar to how Trump is operating now. And like you think about this, nothing ever changes. And guess for people, MJ, who says we should read 1984 Brave New World again. I know, and you're right, but it's heavy. And I think people just need a break. Like it's just heavy. And I don't know that we want to do something heavy. Like I want to do something light. I know The Americans is also kind of a heavy show, but it's, just in some extent it's in the past, even though it's not really in the past.
Yeah.
All of this is just fascinating, I think, in some ways. So I truly, if people want to do book club, let me know. If everybody's too tired to do book club, that's okay.
I just wish I had the time to read books.
Yeah, I just
buying them and not finishing them.
I just can't go to sleep without reading it. But yes, thank you, Beth. So if anybody wants to do the other Bowling Girl, Shakespeare's more your cup of tea. Can I tell you something? My poor 8th grade child was just informed that he has to read Macbeth when they come back from Christmas break. And I'm like, oh my God.
I've told you how I feel about that. I've told you how I feel about that. You have to get your hands on Shakespeare's folio, first folio. It's way easier to get through.
I'm also reading Paradise Lost, slow read book club this upcoming. Oh, okay. Paradise Lost. Paradise Lost is also really heavy, like really heavy, and also great book, but like a little heavy. No Fabio. No, we're not having any Fabio. Fabio, I think Fabio is MAGA, which should surprise nobody, by the way. Yes,
like the naked cowboy in Times Square. He's MAGA too.
Is he really?
Oh yeah, because I was walking around during COVID down there. It was one of my first ventures out, and he had like Trump on his ass, and he had Trump on his guitar and on his hat. Oh yeah, and I was like, oh no. Oh,
did I ever tell you about this little town that we're in Pennsylvania, that I'm in right now? That there's a guy who, on nice days, not now because it's really cold, but on nice like summer and fall days, he will go biking up and down Main Street, and he's got this little, I don't know, those bike things are called in the back where like you could put your kid, but it's like in the back. And he wraps himself in a Trump flag, and he wears a Trump hat, and his bike is wrapped in Trump stuff. And then he wraps his poor like 2-year-old or 3-year-old in this Trump hat, and then he blares like Trump music, which I don't know, it's like Trump, Trump, Trump. And he goes biking up and down the main drag here all the time. Crazy, 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 nonstop.
Why? It's like taking things to the next level in a way that doesn't need to be happening. But I'm seeing all these, there's like a lot of great, even just like Jules Verne in this chat too. I'm like,
Jules Verne, Around the World in 80 Days, great book again.
I know, Journey to the Center of the Earth. Love that movie.
Yep.
A lot of movies also, by the way, and I just want to, I can talk more about this tomorrow morning, but like I saw Nuremberg the other night, and all I'm just going to say to everybody is everybody needs to see this movie. Everybody needs to see this movie. So if you're looking for something to watch this week or over the holidays and this weird week in between, Nuremberg is on Apple iTunes, and it's on like Google Play and all those. So like, I think you have to buy it or whatever, but it's worth it. Anyways.
Dan Jones has some great novels out there about Henry V. Dan Jones has a great biography of Henry V, which I just read. But I didn't realize that he had fiction novels about that too. That's interesting. I think if I'm thinking of the same author, but I just read a great biography of Henry V, or I should say hagiography, because this guy loves Henry V. Anyway, yes, I have liked and I have read Ken Follett's Pillars of the Earth, another great series. The whole thing is really good, start to finish. Agreed. Anyway, Barnes & Noble still does exist. I can't. The problem is I used to have 20/20 vision, and then like in the last couple of years, my eyesight, I think when you get to like 50, your eyesight just goes dropped. So now I can't.
I've been having to do this a lot more lately, which has not been.
Why I have to wear, like right now, I can't read anything in the chat. That's why I have to wear my glasses.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So, but what's interesting is that I can't read books anymore. I have to read them on my phone because the print's too small. Because I don't want to fall.
Well, they make the books now with the extra large print. You have to.
You have to pre-order. Michelle.
Sorry.
Michelle.
You can get one of those like magnifying glasses.
It was nice getting to 10,000 with you. But now to quote Led Zeppelin,
it's all downhill.
Now I gotta ramble. I gotta find somebody else. It's not gonna tell me to get larger. Remember those old push button phones that people's grandmas have, like the huge buttons?
Oh, and they're so big. There was like you could put your whole palm on like each
Yeah,
number.
so basically, that's what Michelle is suggesting that I do. Yeah, just for the record, that's what Michelle is
Oh,
basically.
it's so funny. So
Uh,
funny.
Heidi, thank you, and thank you to our friends in Canada. We actually
Yes, thank you to our friends in Canada. We were going through like the analytics and things to see like where everybody's tuning in from. We were overwhelmed by how many people in our audience come from Canada.
and
And we love
also many people from Trinidad and Tobago. So if you're one of those people, one, thank you. Two, we're puzzled but grateful.
I know. I mean, well, here's the other thing is, and I think about how United States foreign policy and politics affects the rest of the world. So I do think, I mean, not that I'm really traveling all that much, but based on, secondhand, knowledge of what the conversations my friends are having on their travels around the world is like, people are like, what's going on? What are your feelings about that? People are really, really invested in what's going on here. And so it's like that 60 Minutes thing again, like that was, I think, a huge catalyst of this channel kind of taking off is because we posted that bootleg 60 Minutes segment that got cut because Barry Weiss sucks. And we and everybody else had to find a bootlegged copy of this from someone in Canada to send to the American people so that we could see what was going on with our own government. I mean, it is just wild. So I guess in some ways, thanks, Barry Weiss. Thank you. But also not thank you. I'd much rather have this segment aired and have less people watching, but it is what it is. But for whatever reason, I mean, I hope people understand and know that, we will always do our best to make sure that we're bringing those kinds of stories and this kind of information and as soon as we possibly can. It's just Julie and me. We don't have anybody else here. We're the ones editing. We're the ones throwing things up on social. We're the ones making the graphics and doing all the things. So, there's only so many.
Who's being very kind with a we thing. Michelle is doing 99% of the work here because she's amazing. And I need to carry my load more here, but more relevantly, there's stuff that Michelle does that I just don't know how to do, which is all the creative stuff. Like Michelle is a creative force. So you're just amazing. And
very nice. It's sometimes I'm a creature of, what's the word? I like learn things because I feel like I have to, like out of necessity, and then I just do them.
Yeah.
And like that's why Julie and I are going to have a cap cut or a final cut class in the next
tutorial.
week.
Yes.
Yeah, tutorial, so that because it's actually not that hard. It's just a matter of like actually doing it. It's like but that's what we'll try to get more and more clips out for people too on social. It's just, again, only two of us, but we're doing the best we can here.
I think what we're going to do is try to raise a little bit of money here. I think we've now monetized. I think we're actually
I saw that. I think I saw something turn on that was a little different.
Yeah.
So I think right? I didn't do that.
Yeah. So if anybody here wants to throw a few bucks our way, we're going to try to maybe hire somebody to raise enough money where we hire somebody to help us out. Because
that would be good. That'd be so good. Our first hire is a social person for sure. So if you know anybody, a young, hungry, some snarky, politically, astute person.
Yes. The other person we should thank, besides Barry Weiss, is we want to thank Joe Scarborough. For going down to Mar-a-Lago, because if you had not gone down to Mar-a-Lago, Michelle probably would not have gotten pissed off enough to say, screw it, we're going to wake up really early in the morning.
Yeah.
And do a morning show every morning because we want
I am not a morning person. Let me just tell you right now how hard it is for me to get up at 6:30 every morning. I want to die. Every time I roll out of bed, I'm like, but I do it.
We're doing it.
Come up and we start talking. I'm like, yes, but I say all that to say is like whatever pain I'm feeling in that first 10 minutes has been totally worth it. And it took a lot for me to get there just personally, but Julie was right. And that time, that time slot was right for appointment programming, as they
Um,
say.
Lost in translation, I'm a morning person. But conversely, I'm not a night person, and this show has resulted in our having to stay up really late to plan for
See,
it for the
I'm
next.
a total night person. I love it being up at night. I love creating stuff at night. I like being up when everybody else is asleep. I love it. So, I just think people thrive in different times of the day. It's,
Yeah,
what it is? It's the morning people who think that they're morally superior to the rest of us.
I don't know
I
if I'm
don't like
morally
those
superior.
people.
No, it's
I
not
don't
that
like
I
those
think
people.
I'm not. I'm not morally superior. I think it's just my husband gets up at 4:30 every morning because he goes running every morning. My husband, did I ever talk about this? I never talk about him really, but my husband does a 5K every morning, and he's
Yeah,
done
he runs every day.
every day, and he's had a streak going for at least 30 years. He has never missed a day, including when he had COVID, including when he broke his ribs, including when he broke his hand. Anyway, he's insane. He does at least a mile minimum, but typically like a 5K every day. So he gets up really, really early and does that before he gets up for the day and, takes a shower and goes to work and whatever else.
God bless, honestly.
So he gets up, and then, by virtue of living with him, I kind of hear him get up. And then, of course, my son gets up to go to school really early, and
Right.
God
So
God
early.
forbid, God forbid, he actually doesn't, sets an alarm that he listens to. So then I have to be like,
Yeah.
get up, even though, so I have to wake
Yeah.
up.
My mom used to wake me up in the morning because I would get up at 5:30 in the morning for a 7 o'clock bus to come pick me up to go to school. And my
Why'd you
mom
wake up
had
at
this,
5:30 for a 7 o'clock bus?
well, because I got to take a shower, I got to dry my hair, I have to eat breakfast, and I
Oh,
have to be outside to wait for the bus 15 minutes ahead of time.
yeah, that's
That was
not.
just always how it was. But my mom would wake me up, kid you not, with an old ass school bell. She'd come in and ring that shit. I was like, and she's probably laughing right now, but I mean, it was horrendous. Or up and at 'em. Oh, hatred.
So my mom would come into my room and she'd tell me to wake up and not ignore her. And then she'd tell me to wake up and not ignore her. And so meanwhile, let me also stress that my father and my mother, being Russian, do not really believe in heat in the house unless it's like 100 degrees below zero, because if it's just freezing, why would you want heat? Just put on an extra blanket. So it would always be freezing at my parents' house. Always, always, always. Like it would take a miracle for them to turn on the heat. Not because they're
put on
cheap.
a sweater. Right.
Yeah, they'd be like, put on get an extra blanket. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this is like insane. So it would be really cold. And my mom, like this time of year, my mom would come in and she'd tell me to wake up and I wouldn't wake up. And she'd tell me to wake up again and I wouldn't wake up. And then she'd yank the covers off. And she'd be like,
horrible.
it'd be so cold. I'd be like, ah.
Horrible.
And then that's, yeah, awful.
Horrible. I don't know how any of us survived, quite frankly. just out the door with a toaster strudel or a Pop-Tart in my mouth and just.
I couldn't even have breakfast. I don't recall ever eating breakfast when I was in high school. Now
usually like cereal or something. Yeah.
I don't remember what I ate. I think I just would go to school and then I didn't really eat lunch either. I would get a brownie every day. I don't know why.
Healthy. Very good.
Yeah. I would basically eat a brownie every day. That's what I would eat my senior year in high school. And then I got to college and I discovered the best meal of all time. And I don't know why it took me till college to discover it, but I've always said, if I ever got the death penalty and somebody said, what is the last meal you'd ever have? And let me stress again, I have not had this in 25 years, because if I had it now, it would be like a gateway drug where I'd never stop having it, but it would be a Burger King double cheeseburger.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I feel you. Mm-hmm.
But I can't do it because if I start now, it would never stop. Never, ever, ever.
And your stomach might be really upset with you too. It's like
Who?
the shock. Your stomach would be the shock to the system.
No, because when we came back from the airport, I said to my husband, picked us up because he didn't come with us because he was like, Florida. I think not. So he picked us up at the airport, and I was like, do you guys want to like stop and get something, get some food for dinner, like at a restaurant? And he's like, looks at my son. He's like, how about McDonald's? I was like, oh my God, seriously?
Wow.
two of them decide to go to McDonald's, and they both get Big Macs. And my son thinks he likes Big Macs, but he doesn't really like Big Macs. So or maybe more likely that he just left the Big Mac for me to eat. So I just won't get a whole Big Mac. And the Big Mac is good. Don't get me wrong. It's very good.
Yeah.
However,
I've been so long.
it is not the Burger King double cheeseburger. Yeah.
I believe you. But nothing, a burger you cannot beat, truly. As sometimes as bad as I feel sometimes eating the red meat, sometimes you just gotta, because it's good.
Royale with cheese. Yeah, it's a Royale with cheese because they don't have pounds in France.
Oh, right.
I hated that movie. I hate Tarantino movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, don't like Tarantino.
I liked Kill Bill, the first one, and I liked Inglourious Bastards, but I could live without the rest of them.
Yeah, I agree.
Very violent, and also feel like he kind of is like stealing from other people. There's a lot of borrowing from other people, other directors in other parts of the world.
I know everything in Pulp Fiction is great. Everybody says that. In 1994, 2 movies came out that everybody thought were amazing, and I saw both of them. And both of them, I was like, "Are you really kidding me?" One was so the first one was Pulp Fiction, which I was like, "Come on, this movie is not good." And the other movie, which I don't want to give it away, so if anybody here doesn't know the secret of the crying game, mute me right now. So here I go. But we're watching the crying game in the movie theater, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, the big secret of the crying game, big secret of the crying game." We walk out of the movie theater, and I remember this so well. I turned to my friend Carolyn, and I was like, "What's the big secret?" And she's like, "It's a guy. It's a guy." Did you watch the crying game?
I've never seen it.
Oh, well, don't worry about it. It was like a big deal. And I was like, it makes no sense to anybody. I know. And I was like, I kind of figured that out from the very start. Anyway, it was about a transgender person.
Okay.
And the big secret was that this person was transgender. But it was apparent to me watching from the start that this person was transgender. But I guess back in 1994, it was not something that was apparent to people. So anyway, yeah, anyway, it was a big movie in 1994 along with Pulp Fiction. And it was like the movie, and it kind of came and went, and nobody ever talks about the crying game anymore.
Yeah, I was like, wow, I haven't heard of that movie in a very, very long time, actually. Yeah. I kind of had forgotten that it existed, but I never saw it, so I didn't really have any reference point for my own memory, really.
Forrest Whitaker, exactly. Forrest Whitaker was in that, and
he's great.
Some guy who I can remember what he looked like, but can't. He's a British guy, but I can't, or maybe Irish guy, but I can't remember what his name was, but I can picture him. The big movie in the 90s that I was obsessed with, because whether Hugh Grant realized it or not at the time, he and I were madly in love and were supposed to get married, was of course
Four Weddings and a Funeral.
Yeah.
Did you ever see The Englishman who went up a hill and came down a mountain with Hugh Grant?
No, yeah. Was it good?
I remember seeing it. I think it was like in junior high or maybe high school, which is the mid to late 90s. And it was about this little town, and like they were trying to make a mountain, and they needed it to be so many feet, and so it was a hill, and then they kept adding dirt to it or something to make a mountain. And from what I remember, I think Hugh Grant was in it. Maybe if I saw it again now, I would think more of it, but I just remember thinking like, wow, what a long title for a movie.
Heidi, I've got to ask you a question. So the quart of the book is the Quarter Pounder in Quebec. And so I've got to ask you a question. So I speak French. However, I was just down in Florida, and I thought the Canadians were boycotting Florida, but apparently there was still some. And there were people who I believe were French Canadian in an elevator with me, and I did not understand a word they were saying. Like, what a completely different language.
Right? Yeah.
Totally random. Yeah.
I remember just having grown up so close to Montreal, like a lot of people from Quebec would come down during the summers and stuff, and like not knowing any French at all. But I remember working with someone who did, and they were like, ugh, it's totally different. It's like
totally different.
It's like a different dialect and everything. Yeah.
Anything they were saying. Like, it was very, very, very strange. Like, very odd. Anyway, just
MJ's asking, did either of you watch The Good Pope? Funny story. This a couple Christmases ago, I think we turned it on, my in-laws, and like I think it was 30 minutes into it, we looked at each other and we're like, no, like I'm sorry.
Was he playing a real? Was he like?
I don't know. There was this Pope, and then there was another Popey movie. I feel like the Pope movies.
Speaking of Pope movie, the big Pope movie last year that won the Conclave movie.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that I was like, really? Like, what's the big deal?
Yeah, my thing about it, and I do like this Pope that we have now, like in real life. I think he's lovely. And I actually just watched the Michael Bublé concert at the Vatican that he attended, and it was beautiful, and I find him lovely. However, just again, watching all these stories of like men like huddled around making decisions while the women are like, not allowed in the room because God or whatever. The thing makes me so crazy. So I that's generally why I can't watch the Popey movies, because they make me mad because women are not included in the infrastructure of that church. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm trying to think what else. So we have, and you said you watched Nuremberg this week, right? You said it was amazing.
Guys. I was very emotional throughout. Rami Malek, Russell Crowe, John Slattery. It's a great cast, really great cast. Vanderbilt's his last name, who wrote and directed this. James Vanderbilt, I believe his name is. And it is the story about an American psychiatrist who worked for the United States Army. And he's sent in basically to psychoanalyze, to make sure that they're mentally fit, these Nazis who are going to be put on trial for Nuremberg. And it's like the months and weeks leading up to this, to kind of get to know them and to figure them out and figure out if they, because they're all on suicide watch. They're all, dealing with various things. And like, it is just, and it's a true story. The whole thing is a true story.
But Goering, right? Doesn't Russell play Goering?
Yep. And of course, like, I mean, he's been kind of, away for a while. He hasn't made a movie in a long time. And I think that this subject matter really spoke to him. And I was reading an article about this, and apparently they tried to make this film in 2019, and the funding fell through, and then the COVID happened, obviously, and then there was a strike or whatever. And then so they had funding again, and it fell through again. And then finally they were able to make the film. And it is just the parallels to what we are living through right now are so chilling. I mean, like, we all know this, right? Intellectually, but to see it and to feel it and to watch it, and then to open up, your newspaper or your phone and read what's really going on and see the videos of things that are happening here in this country, and that we are sending immigrants to concentration camps.
Oh,
it all began the same way. Like, it's just because concentration camps were work camps before they were extermination.
Well, that's what I said. And I got so much shit for it. But when I wrote my thing last week, and I think I said it on the show too, about what Barry Weiss would have done if somebody had escaped from Dachau in 1933, 34.
Right.
And had suddenly come to her and had said, hey, here's what's going on down the road from Berlin, because Dachau is a suburb of Berlin, which she had been like, oh, let me call Joseph Goebbels and ask him for comment before we run this. And then literally half of these crazy MAGA people are like, how dare you disrespect the Holocaust. I'm like, give me a fucking break. All right. First of all, stop with that shit.
You're like, yeah. Second of all, I'm a Jew. I can say this.
Okay.
I mean,
the second thing is, they're like, you're an idiot because she's Jewish. So she wouldn't have been in charge of anything. And I'm like, you don't understand my analogy here. Like, yes, I understand that Barry Weiss herself would not have been in charge of a new Der Spiegel, whatever the hell, Der Stürmer.
Nazi. I'm like, wow, you're missing the point.
You're missing the point. I'm like, are you purposely stupid, or are you just trying to like? And it's and
twist
precious,
themselves into pretzels,
coming
honestly.
from people who are like, well, we're not going to actually put my favorite. We're not going to say that Candace Owens is unacceptable, and we're not going to say that Nick Fuentes is unacceptable just because they love Hitler, because we don't have litmus tests for people. We don't have, that's like a liberal thing. Okay.
Like, that's all MAGA is a purity test. Like, are you kidding me?
Yep.
And like the other thing about this that struck me, and again, like intellectually, I knew this, but again, like the dialogue kind of, you're experiencing this information in a different way. Is, this is right after the wars ended, right? And these army guys, are helping out with what's going on, the cleanup, the rebuilding, and then of course this Nuremberg situation. And while, by the way, the international, because there is no ICC, there is no nothing exists for this to even happen. The word genocide did not exist yet. This word was invented during the Nuremberg trials to put a word to what had happened. So these conversations are happening between these soldiers, being like, "Oh, did you hear about these camps?" Like, "Oh yeah, I heard something about that." Like, "Is it true?" Like, no one really knew what had happened. No one really knew the extent of it. And so they're sitting in this courtroom and they play the films. And in this movie, you sit there with the people in that courtroom and members of the press watching it, and you're watching them all, I mean, obviously actors, but like you're watching them all kind of experience all of this footage, which seems so horrific. I mean, it is so horrific, but unimaginable, but they're experiencing it for the first time, and you see it through their eyes. And I mean, I could not keep it together. I was having such a hard time. But it is one of those things, you cannot look away. You cannot look away. You have to bear witness. We all have to bear witness to this. And again, to watch them all play dumb, like to watch the Nazis be questioned about this and all play dumb. Well, I didn't know. I wasn't in charge of that, and I didn't know. And it's like, well, of course we were going to have a few camps here and there. And how is that any different from the Americans having internment camps, or the Americans having Jim Crow laws, or, there's a lot of whataboutism. And, but the reality is there were 1,200 camps. There were 1,200.
You guys, let me say this. And I think about this all the time. I've been to Auschwitz, and I cannot believe we're having this discussion. This is not the purpose of this.
No, I know, but you know what? Well,
but I do want to say this. I do want to say this, and we can move on to a happier topic.
Yeah.
And anything would be a happier topic. But so I've been to Auschwitz, and I will tell you this. When you go to Birkenau, so Auschwitz was the work camp. Auschwitz I was the work camp, and then Auschwitz-Birkenau was the death camp. I mean, Auschwitz was 2, but a few kilometers away is where you see those train tracks end, and that big watchtower and the sorting where, like, you go to the left, you go to the right. That's Birkenau. And I forgot which is to the right and which is to the left, but I think, for the sake of the story, to the right is to go work, and to the left is to go to the gas chamber right away upon getting on the train. Those crematoria, so they would take you to the gas chamber. You could walk through those gas chambers, and they're at Auschwitz, not at Birkenau, because the Germans blew those up on their way out. But you can go to the crematoria. So they take the bodies out, and then they would take you to the crematoria, which is in the back of the camp. And the camp is not very big. You go to the back of the camp, that's where the crematoria is. And what you see behind the crematoria is basically a barbed wire fence. And on the other side of the barbed wire fence, are houses that have been there for a very long time, that belong to normal Polish people who live there. And when you cremate somebody, obviously the ash goes up, and with the wind goes onto the yards and onto the roof of those people's houses. And so I think the part to me that was so awful is not that people didn't know. It's that they lived next door to it.
And pretended they didn't.
And pretended they didn't understand what was raining down upon them, which is human ash.
Again, I hate to say it, but look around, and how many people are playing dumb or looking the other way while pregnant women are being dragged in the streets, and people being locked up and sent to concentration camps in South America. And it's like, that's why to bring it back to the 60 Minutes thing, that's why that was so important, because we had to see it. Because in 1945, there wasn't a 60 Minutes for the American people to see these things. There weren't, reporters that were able to tell the story visually in the way that we can now. And so for CBS and Barry Weiss to hit the delete button at the last minute and then try to be like, oh, well, we weren't totally sure. Shut up. Yes, you were. And that's why it was so important. And that's why it was so incredible that the Canadians were able to give us this, as sad as it is. And that's why we went live as fast as we possibly could, to show everybody what we had, just to, with everybody. We wanted to experience it with everyone. And because these stories are so important. And I'm seeing in the chat too, people are asking, are we going to do like memberships or subscriber-y things? Once we get on the other side of this year and we kind of figure out like how we're going to do this, I think we'll have more answers for people. But we're just trying to figure out, like, I feel like such a boomer. I'm like, how does this work? I don't know what button do I, it's like, I'm pretty tech savvy, but even this stuff is kind of over my head. So luckily, Julie's son knows more about all of this.
My son, by the way, you guys, we got to get to, I have a bet with him. I made today. So please help us here. I bet him because apparently if you're 13 years old and you want to grow up and be a YouTuber, because that is, of course, the ambition of every preteen boy right now.
Sad.
Nobody actually wants to go to school. They just want to be famous on YouTube. Apparently, if you get, I didn't know this until just recently, but if you have 100,000 subscribers, you get a silver play button.
Yeah, it's like a plaque. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You see them in like people's backgrounds and stuff. Yeah.
He informed me that he bet me that we could not get to 100,000 by the time his school year ends, which is in June. So we got 6 months less. We got 5 months.
I don't know. That's a tall order.
We got 5 months, my friends. We got to double and triple this every month. So you got to tell people, you got to subscribe. I cannot lose to this kid. I cannot get that to him. No way.
I'm going to put kiddo to work.
I know. We're going
to make him clip for me and do social for us or something. Well, I'm going to put him to work. But what did I see? I just saw something. Oh, where did it go? Oh, sell some merchandise. We are planning to sell some merch. We're just trying to figure out, we need like a drop shipper thing. Like there's like companies that you can do this through. And so we're just trying to figure out which is the best, because obviously we're really trying to do like American made products and things like that. It's very important to us. So just trying to figure out the best quality and the best sourcing for that. And once we figure that out, we will make sure that we let you all know.
Yeah, we're gonna take hopefully the latter part of this week now that I'm back. Is there a way you can take membership internationally?
Yes, because the difference is, because I know people ask us with Seneca Project all the time, right? So Seneca Project being a political action committee is we're Seneca Project and other PACs, right, are subject to FEC laws. So you can't take political donations from outside the country. However, Mayday, we are a company, we're an LLC. So yes, we can. And we hope that people will want to subscribe or buy merchandise or whatever it is that you want to do from anywhere in the world. That would be amazing.
Yeah. We're not a political action committee, so we can take money from whoever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like Substack, same thing. You can, whoever wants to subscribe, even people in Trinidad, especially people in Trinidad and Tobago.
Seriously.
Canada, of course, we'll ship to Canada. We'll figure out a way to ship to. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
There's so many people. I mean, we're joking, but there are thousands and thousands of people from Canada who are subscribers to Mayday. We literally looked today to see who these 10,000 people are. Thousands of you are from Canada. So we are so grateful to you. Maybe Julie's family and friends can ship the merch for EU members to avoid the import fees, the VAT. How about this? I will personally deliver a merch to you in Europe. It'll be a great tax write-off to go travel to Europe.
Wish we had a package subscription. So I know, but just so people know, just to be clear, just because I want there to be clarity for everybody. So JoJo has her own thing. She has her very successful Substack, and she's like working on the Siren and kicking ass over there. So that's her thing. And then Tara has the Seneca Project, and she's doing her own Substack Uncompromised and her whole thing. And then Julie and I are doing this. So I think, and that's what I was talking about earlier, is like there was several iterations of like what Mayday was going to be and who was going to be involved and who had the time to be able to commit to this, and the bandwidth and all these things. So for all those reasons, Julie and I are here, and we're building this together. And yes, it would be amazing if everybody was under one subscription for everybody, but unfortunately, that's just not the case. But just wanted everybody to know. And yes, I still am technically with the Seneca Project, although I am not doing as much work as I was in the past because I've been so focused on everything over here at Mayday. So again, there are many missions and many places to be mission driven, to do mission driven work. And I think this is, for Julie and I, this is one that's very, very important.
Dana, I keep talking about Mayday wine. I don't know if we're allowed to ship. Well, first of all, I don't know where we get this wine because we don't run a vineyard. But supposing that we got some wine that we could slap our label on, I don't even know how that works. I'm not sure if you could ship. Like, I think alcohol is a little hard to ship unless you have.
I think you'd have to go through like another company, because I know people who have like there's a couple Broadway people who have like their own wines, but like it's like a special wine that they do as like a specialty thing through another company or something like that. But I think just to like make our own wine would be really hard. Have to go crush our grapes.
We can certainly have wine meetups online. We could all bring our own.
Don't see why not.
I don't see why not. Like, frankly, if I would have thought of it, I would have popped open a bottle of wine. We'd be swirling it tonight. But although, as Michelle can attest, I so rarely drink that. Although I have to say, so speaking of Mayday, our military contributor, Jacqueline.
You met Jacqueline yesterday.
I did. I was in Miami. She lives down there. She came all the way. I didn't realize how far away she lived from where I was staying. I was staying in Miami Beach, and she lives elsewhere. So she trekked all the way up to see me, which was incredibly generous of her to do. And Michelle would be the equivalent of me like trekking to like Williamsburg.
Oh,
places that I would like. Yeah, we don't. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, that's a lot of trains. I don't know. And they go sideways. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But anyway, so she and I had a drink, or she had several. I had one. I had 3/4 of one, and I went upstairs. I was like, "Woo!" And my son, this is the worst part. I go upstairs and my son goes, "Are you drunk?" I said, "What are you talking about? I barely had," and I literally, this is how I order a drink. You ready for this? This is so lame. I go, "Can I have a Tito's and soda?" This is my usual order, and my husband makes fun of me all the time. I go, "Can I have a Tito's and soda? And can you put about half of the Tito's into that you would normally put in?" So when I say I had a drink, it was like a lot of soda and this much Cheetos. I was like, "I'm not drunk," and he's like, "You smell like alcohol," and I was like,
Listen, kid.
I was like, "I've been dealing with your ass nonstop on this trip for 2 days, taking you to every fucking game ever." I went to a Miami Heat game. Not only did I go to a Miami Dolphins game, I then did something that I highly recommend friends do not do. I don't know if anybody ever has gone to a Miami Dolphins game. They don't have Ubers that can pick you up near the stadium or drop you off near the stadium. So you have to walk like literally a mile.
Oh, it's kind of like it is here. Like when you go to the US Open or something and you want to take an Uber, like they drop you like way ass away.
Right. Then
you got to take a bus from where the Uber drops you off. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. So I've only taken the subway to the US Open because at least it drops you right there. So anyway, so I go to
watch out, Lori. Watch out, Lori.
So anyway, so we're walking back, and like the entire stadium is emptying out, and I was like, "Oh my God, we are never, ever, ever going to get back to where we have to go. We're never going to get an Uber." So we're walking by, and these people are like, "Come on, get in the car, get in the van, get in the van." So I'm like, "All right, we're going to get in the van." Some random van. It's like, "We'll take you wherever you want to go." And I was like, okay. You should never do this anyway. You should certainly not do this with a kid. So we get into this random Uber van, And then it waits like another hour till it fills up. And there are these Australian guys who get in the van with us, and they are drunk out of their minds and
Oh
hilarious.
no.
Just every Australian guy on earth. This van starts dropping people off. We were the last people to be dropped off. It took us 3.5 hours to get back. But I did get a tour of every hotel in the greater Miami area because they were dropping all these people off. But by the time I got back, I was like, oh my God, give me that Tito's bottle so I could shove it down. I was frustrated after like sitting and watching a football game. Like I couldn't care less.
Terrible.
Having gone to a Miami Heat game the night before, still couldn't care less. Yeah.
Speaking of, I'd love to know how many sports fans we have in the chat, or anybody. If you're watching this after the fact, leave us a comment in the video too, because we're thinking about starting a little sports meetup to just talk about what's going on in college sports or football or college basketball or whatever. I have a wonderful, hilarious friend who is like a total sports nut. And I have limited knowledge beyond tennis, golf, and college basketball. It's very limited, guys. So, we thought about maybe having a little bit of a show meetup to talk about sports, or at least tell me about sports and all of you. So let me know, because I would love to know. I see a bookie sell. That's funny. Baseball, horse race. Oh, baseball too, obviously. Love baseball.
Yeah, baseball.
Yeah, baseball. My things are baseball, golf, college basketball, and tennis are like my big things.
I feel like baseball, yes, because I love baseball, but I feel like I know a lot about football and I know a lot about hockey, not because I care, but because I live with two people who are obsessed. Like my husband is a season to Devils games. My son is basically a bookie. Like he knows every stat on earth. He, frankly, we always joke, would be the perfect person to host a sports show on the Mayday Network, but he is 13, so that he won't be doing that.
I know.
Someday. And so, yeah, so he and I have this deal. It's not really a deal. We came up with this idea that a good way to see the country and go to random places that we normally would never go to is before our high school graduation. We're going to hit every NFL stadium and go to every.
My friend did that with ballparks with his dad. It was really
sweet. So we're gonna do so far. So we just started this year. He's been to obviously Giants games because he's a Giants fan. To the Eagles because he has a friend who's an Eagles fan. We went to the Saints down in New Orleans last year.
Superdome?
Yeah, this time last year.
Yeah.
I think it's the Superdome. It was a cool stadium, whatever it was.
Yeah, big one. Yeah.
And then we went to this. We went to see the Miami Dolphins, which was the stadium was the weather was so great. It was perfect.
No, I bet so, this time of year. I turn off calls and stop. Listen, Heidi, I feel you. And actually, I asked my friend Craig if he would go live with me the other day when Kepka dropped out of Live Golf to spend more time with his family. Sure. Because I really wanted to talk about that, but he was like, bitch, I'm on vacation. I'm not doing that right now. I was like, okay, I'll see you after the new year. So maybe we can talk about that later. But I love golf. And I love Rory McIlroy. He's the man. I hate Live Golf. Live Golf can F right off. We don't like them. But PGA Tour, hopefully, and obviously how I felt about the Ryder Cup this year made me very, very angry. Let's see. Great mods here. Secure Sun about San Francisco, Jacksonville Super Bowl.
Oh, I will ask him why. Is that what we think the Super Bowl is going to be?
Yeah, I guess Niners and Giants. There's a guy who follows me on Instagram. His name's Seth Wickersham, I think his name is, and he just wrote a book about. He's a reporter for ESPN, and he just wrote a book about quarterbacks. And he was on Good Morning America today. And actually, I might reach out to him because I feel like he could be a good person to talk to about these things. Maybe he could come on. And he was actually made a really cool point on Good Morning America today that quarterbacks, it's becoming the kind of the old man's position in football, because if you can stick with a team that's a good team and you can stay healthy, that you can actually stay in that position and play the game for as long as you possibly can. And he said it's actually easier than people realize. So I thought that was very interesting.
I forgot his name, but when I was at Fox, I several times interviewed not Joe Namath. What was his name? Joe Namath, I know, is from the Jets. Anyway, some guy who was a big Super Bowl, and people are going to laugh at me right now because it's obvious to anybody who knows anything about football. I just don't. But he was in the 70s or the 80s. He was a big Super Bowl guy, champion for Washington, for the
I don't know.
No, not Joe Montana. And I have a picture of me wearing all his Super Bowl rings on Fox.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, he would let me wear Super Bowl rings. So I was like,
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very
Joe
cool.
Theismann. Thank you. Yes, Joe Theismann. Joe Theismann.
Reality checks. Chris Cluey is progressive former NFL. Yes, he played for Baltimore, right? Because I remember when he came out, there was I think a player who came out that was in the league, and he stood up for him and was very vocal about it. And his contract did not get renewed. And he was on the Colbert Report talking about it. I like Chris Cluey a lot. He's really, really smart guy. Okay. Let's see. I love women's college basketball. Same. I love WNBA. Very exciting game. I do not like the NBA, unfortunately. And I used to really love college basketball. But you know what? The new thing with the what's the thing with like the college players, they can just switch teams like whenever now, like, which, whatever. I mean, I guess that's good for them, but I just feel like it's totally going to change college sports, like across the everything. And I wonder how that's going to be as a fan of these teams. Let's see, looking at the chat here, Minnesota, it was a purple jersey. Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Oh,
so it was Baltimore. Okay. I just remember it being a purple jersey. I'm
trying to find this picture of Joe Theismann's rings because it's actually pretty funny. I will keep talking, and I will try to find it.
So I will try to keep talking. Transfer portal, NIL, exact name and likeness. Is that what it is? Yeah, the transfer, because actually it's funny. A friend of ours, family friend, coaches Division I women's soccer. And he was, kind of going off about it at Christmas, on Christmas Eve. And he was saying, he's like, my players, they're in for a rude awakening. They don't know what's about to happen to them, and they don't think it's a big deal, but it's going to really mess things up, for all the teams. It's going to be really hard and unpredictable to play against, other teams. Let's see. College sports is now pro sports. Exactly. Exactly.
I found it. I'm going to send you this. Hold on, I'm going to send you this.
My mom just texted me, Joe Theismann. I was like, well.
Thank you, Mrs. Kinney. Hold on. He's always the best. Hold on a second. I'm going to send this to you because you will see me trying to pretend that I know who the hell he is and his big blinged out Super Bowl rings. Hold on a second.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's from New Jersey.
He is?
I guess so.
Oh, okay.
Danielle Moody. I love Danielle. I don't know her personally, but I think that she's awesome. I know that she does the Mary Trump Nerd Avengers thing, and I always see her there. I think she's really smart and fun to watch. And Jennifer and Angie too, like, obviously. I'm a big fan. I feel like I was one of the very first, like, I feel like an OG fan of I've Had It, because I feel like I was watching them before they really got into politics, and I just feel like I should get credit for that. Of like sending clips of them to everybody I knew. Nice. Did you send it?
I did. I just texted it to you.
I'm looking. I don't see it. I don't have it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. You can try again. It's not coming through. I don't. Oh, here it is. It's on it came in on my phone. Holy mackerel. Julie.
What?
Wait till you see this photo, guys. Wait till you see this photo.
You're talking about how I look? Oh, this is the Fox hair and makeup
show, girl.
Well, yeah, it's the power of professional hair and makeup, my friends. As you know, this is what I look like in real life. What Michelle's about to show is what I look like after an hour of Fox hair and makeup when I used to have a show, and they would do this for me every day. It was very nice.
Hold on. Image, downloads. Here it is, guys. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Look at that blinged out ring. Look at
Wow.
how, look at how, so is that Joe Theismann? I think it is. That's me on the couch of the show
Yeah.
that I used
Tell
to
us if
host.
that's him in the, in the
Is
chat.
that, is that him? Is that Joe Theismann? I interviewed this guy, I don't know how many times, and I was like, tell me about football. This is so fascinating. And I couldn't have cared less. He was a very
Everyone's wow in the comments.
well, yeah,
Wow.
you guys, this is real. That is hair and makeup done professionally. That is, yeah. But anyway, that was in
Wow.
2017. That was right before I left Fox, about 6 months before I left Fox.
Wow.
But
And the world changed forever. And the
the
world
world,
changed forever.
oh yes, that was about 4 months before I dropped the bomb on Fox News. But yes, um,
That's
but
him. Yeah.
I look like Melissa Rivers. Okay,
Oh,
that's
interesting.
that's a
Maybe
new
like
one.
cousins or something. Like you look maybe, I don't know.
Okay, I don't know about that, but okay. Didn't he break something? Wasn't the big thing about him for people in the chat that know?
Yeah,
Yes.
my mom texted me that he had some career-ending injury with his leg. My mom said he had a career-ending injury, leg mangled, dad, which means
Yes.
my dad sent that.
Yes.
Dash dad.
That's
Yeah.
all I remember from that conversation.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
incredible array of Super Bowl rings. That you could see one that he wears, which I have to wonder, like, do you really always wear the rings on your fingers after you won the Super Bowl?
I guess some people do. It's like wearing your class ring, but
Yeah.
different.
He was quite conservative, Joe Theismann, as I recall.
Well, yeah. I feel like to be a guest over there, you kind of
He was, hey Michelle, you know who he was? You know who he was, Michelle? You know where that what seat is sitting right now? He was, and I quote,
oh God, he was in the
he was one lucky guy.
One lucky guy. What's the name of that show again? Outnumbered?
What'd you say?
What was it? Outnumbered? Is that
Outnumbered? Yes.
Outnumbered.
Oh yes.
What a ridiculous premise
I
for a show.
Many pictures. I have actually, speaking of Timu Gump, I have many stories about the One Lucky Guys on that show, which was hilarious. Not any better than Scott Baio, who was absolutely the worst. Yeah, Super Bowl ring is definitely a flex. He had like 4 of them on, as I recall. So he was really flexing. But yeah.
I feel like when you put rings on other fingers, like you really gotta like commit. You know what I mean? If it's not on this finger, if it's like on this or your thumb, like you're like a ring person. You know what I mean? Like you're Erica Kirk with all your rings.
Speaking of crazy bling, all right, you guys. So I now have a new mantra I live by. Literally, this occurred to me as I was on a boat in Miami this weekend.
Oh yeah, people are very interested about the boat.
Okay, so I'll tell you about the boat in a second. But more relevantly, we're on this boat and we're going to go to a smaller boat that I get to drive around. But to get to the bay, you have to take like a real boat. And we're on this boat, and the pilot of the boat, says to me and to the few other people who are on this boat, hey, this house that you're passing by belongs to DJ Khaled. So I was like, I don't know who that is.
Oh yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah, my son knew who that was. It was as blinged out as you can imagine. And then we passed this humongous yacht. And it's such a big yacht that it's got 2 little boats attached to it that are obviously like the chaser yachts. And I was like, okay. And I just noticed this yacht, because you can't not notice this yacht, that is also docked in front of this incredible house. And the yacht all over it, in case you're confused about whose yacht it is, and in case you're like, oh, wait, I'm not sure who's flexing this hard, that they have to show everybody whose yacht this is, it says Usher written all over it.
Usher.
I know,
Usher.
Usher.
I don't know. Doesn't he say like Usher in some of his songs? So that's what
I don't know.
My friends and I say Usher.
But I'm like cracking up. I'm like, you know what? This is like a lesson for all of us. You gotta just be content with what you got, because no matter how well you do in life, Usher is always gonna have a better yacht.
Well, peace up, A-Town. Yes, he's got a lot of cash monies. And let me tell you what.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what though. Yeah, the song Yeah was like the anthem of my senior year in college. Anthem. It is the greatest song. It is the greatest like club song, bar song ever. It will never get old. It's now, can you believe that song is over 20 years old? Like, oh
Well,
my
that
God.
that song bought him a really
Yeah, I was gonna say that song
blinged out yacht.
alone probably could buy him like
I
100 of
actually
those
took a
boats.
picture of this yacht. I can send this to you too. We don't need to send a picture to anybody, but I'm just saying this yacht was so laughable. It was so insanely blinged out.
So he said it's been a minute since we last saw him, but didn't he perform at the Super Bowl last year?
I think he did.
Didn't he?
I think so.
It was recent.
Where is the stupid
I'm pretty
yacht?
sure. I feel like he did.
Oh yeah, I gotta send this to you.
Of course, all of us millennials like lost our minds.
I'm only sending this picture to you guys so you could see that in case you're confused about how rich Usher is, Usher wants you to know how rich he is because he puts his name across his yacht. And not just the part that I took. He put his name on the back of that yacht and the front of that yacht too. So you see exactly how rich Usher, like guys like that crack me up. I'm like, really? And I feel like that's about like Miami. Like if you want conspicuous consumption, like Miami's your place. Do you see this yacht? Do you see what I just sent you?
I'm trying to load it in. Hold on.
Absurd. It's absurd.
Oh my God.
And look at the little boat attached to it.
This is ridiculous.
And it's also parked in front of his house in case you wanted to stalk Usher. He's telling you exactly where he lives.
For sure. Let me see.
I don't know if this yacht is marble armrest, John, because I didn't actually go inside said yacht. Miraculously, I was not invited aboard the yacht. But look, boats.
Isn't that Julie Roginski from CNN?
Oh yeah, isn't that Julie? We used to hang out with Joe Theismann on Fox News. But look at this. Do you see Usher? Do you see this thing? I don't know if you can zoom in, but it's got this stupid thing.
I can't zoom in. No.
But anyway, if you guys could see on the second floor of that yacht, I'm sure there's a nautical term for it. I don't know. And look at these two other boats that are attached to this yacht in case Usher.
Wait, they're attached?
Yes.
No.
These are like teaser boats. I guess this is for the staff or for like to bring like women on board. I don't know what the point.
Tax the rich, y'all.
Tax guys, seriously. When the revolution comes, I want it to come for Usher.
I want to come for Usher's boat.
I want it to come for Usher's boat, you guys.
Legit.
I don't know what everybody's focusing on. Bezos, Usher is the most man on earth because he puts his name all over his yacht.
It is a bit much. I like Usher. I really love Usher. I think that he's great and so talented, but like putting your name on your boat is kind of crazy.
I know. And beyond that boat is what I assume is Usher's house because he's like the way we all park our cars in our driveway. Usher parks his boat outside his house. Yeah.
See, and just so people, because everyone's talking about this in the thing. Usher headlined the Apple Music Super Bowl halftime show on February 11th, 2024, delivering a career-spanning high-energy performance in Las Vegas. He was joined by Alicia Keys, Lil Jon, Ludacris, H.E.R. Is it her? H.E.R.? I don't know. I'm old. Will.i.am and Jermaine Dupri. So that's that.
I was thinking about Will.i.am. What happened to Fergie?
Kids Incorporated, Sarah Ferguson? I do not know.
What happened?
Well, there is always the NBA All-Star game that didn't do her any favors.
Okay, you guys, I did not run into any of the Real Housewives of Miami, or maybe I did, but I would know who they are because I don't ever watch those shows. Not because I think I'm better than them. Reality shows make me deeply uncomfortable. I'm embarrassed for everybody who's on them. But I will say to you that my husband, actually he didn't, but his former law partner did represent a pretty big Real Housewives of something, which I can't disclose who and what. And suffice it to say,
well, I mean, hello.
Yeah.
I think I watched the New York one like for maybe a season or two many years ago, and then after that I was like, I get people love it, but man, it's
if you want to be team, if I could be Timu Gump for a second, Ebony Williams worked with me on Fox
no clue who that is.
For a period of time before she went and became the first African-American Real Housewife of New York. And they promptly shut down that show immediately afterwards and fired the entire cast because everybody started getting all racist with each other.
Oh my God.
Yeah, wow. She was a little bit nutty. Fergie is not because of Josh Duhamel because they are now divorced. So
they are? Oh, that's a bummer.
Oh, yeah.
You watch Kids Incorporated? Well, I mean, I know that you were coming from a different country, and maybe then you were too old for this, but Kids Incorporated. I mean, she was on Kids Incorporated with Mario Lopez and Martika, and that's how I remember her. And I think she's a really good singer, except for sometimes, like the viral video where she sang the national anthem at the NBA All-Star game, right?
No, maybe sounds vaguely familiar. I don't know.
You
Was she really bad? Was this like Roseanne?
Somebody wrote a children's book about this.
What?
So bad. I'm gonna listen. We're gonna watch it tomorrow on the morning show. We will watch the Fergie NBA All-Star game. It is the funniest shit in the world.
Oh, really? Was it like Roseanne anthem bad, or was it something else? Was she trying?
It's like, Roseanne is like Roseanne. Like, that was just ridiculous. Yeah. This is like, she was trying to be like jazzy with it, but this was not it. And like, they pan over all the players' faces and they're all trying not to laugh. And then one of the last camera is Jimmy Kimmel. He's in the crowd and he's trying not to laugh. It's really, I actually kind of feel bad for her, but it is so funny that we have to, it's so funny.
I love the Black Eyed Peas. They were great back in the day.
Yeah. 20 years ago. They were good. They were great. Wasn't it somebody's, no, I'm thinking of someone else. Oh, what's the party rock anthem? Or was that group? Anyways, doesn't matter. I think those are different people. This is how lame I am. Let's see. I love the Timu Gump thing. Me too. Trademark. He says
we'll have some merch. Timu Gump merch of me eating shrimp or something.
BJG, that's a hell of a tease there, Michelle. Well, get ready. We're gonna watch it tomorrow, and it's hilarious. Awesome. It is hilarious. We'll end the show with it.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of serious stuff going on.
We got to be back on air here in less than
Jesus. Yeah, and I got to get some videos and stuff together and brief myself. The Ukraine news is crazy. His little costume party with Bibi Netanyahu was insane.
Oh my God. It's so funny that you say this because
we're dressed exactly the same.
We're dressed exactly the same. And Bibi did that 100% on purpose to try to.
Of course he did. And he's giving him a little award. He was like, "Oh, Mr. President, you're going to get the Israel award." Like, that's not even a thing. And then this New York Times thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and we can talk about this more tomorrow, where apparently after she went out and she was on the Capitol steps and said, he yelled at her and said, "My friends are going to get hurt."
My friends, asking for a friend, right?
Yeah, okay. Right. My friends, and by friends I mean me and definitely some other people that you probably know.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to talk about tomorrow, but I promise we will make time for
jazz hands.
So good. It's so good. I feel bad, but we gotta. All right. Well,
you guys, thank you.
Yeah, we just wanted to come on and chit chat, and this has been a stream of consciousness for the last hour and change, but we wanted to come on here, like Julie said, and just say thank you so much for being here. Thank you if you're watching this after the fact. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. This has happened so quickly. It's been really overwhelming, in a good way. The surge of support and viewers just in the last week has been nuts. But we're so grateful. And, there's more where that came from. And on our side.
On our side, for sure. And I also just want to say the part for me that was really overwhelming is truly that people from all over the world watch us. I mean, Thailand, there are subscribers here from all over the world, and a tremendous amount from, of course, Canada and our friends in Europe. Thank you.
South Africa,
Africa, everywhere. Asia, there's so many people in Germany watching us. I mean, that to me is especially significant because you guys know what we're in for. So thank you. And on that note, we are going to get ready for the show tomorrow at 8. And we will see you then. And thank you to everybody. It's going to be another short week because it's New Year's on Thursday, but we are deeply grateful to you guys. And we are going to launch this thing for real in January. And
with programming and list and all the stuff to expect. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good night.